Hello, this is Dr. Connors again, and I'm answering some important questions that a lot of people have. Here's a common one. Is hyperthermia the same as sauna? A lot of people say hypothermia. It's hyperthermia, increase in temperature. Is that the same as using a sauna? Well, let's talk about that. Is hyperthermia the same as a sauna? Well, this is the hyperthermia unit that we use. It's called localized hyperthermia, the picture on your left here. The localized hyperthermia is true far infrared, so you won't see a light. You won't see, any lights like you do in the infrared sauna units that you use, because it is a true infrared. That's why it's much more expensive. We get this and source this out of Japan. Um, they use this actually. I was told that they use this in over 600 hospitals in Japan for cancer and all sorts of different things. There is full body hyperthermia units available. They're not available in the United States that I know of. They're used a lot in the German cancer clinics. You need to be sedated to go into those, and you're in those for a number of hours. I heard it between 3 and 7 hours. You have to be sedated because it's so hot. The purpose of that is it's producing a fever-like state. So they're raising, the full body hyperthermia units are raising your body temperature up to 104, 105 degrees. That's your core body temperature in order to kill the cancer. The idea is that cancer cells are much less stable than your normal healthy cells. So if you increase the temperature of the cancer itself, you're going to cause it to become more unstable, and you can cause it to lyse. So you can cause cell lysis through doing hyperthermia by increasing the temperature. Well, how do we increase the temperature of the cancer? Well, one of the ways is with a hyperthermia unit. So a hyperthermia unit, a localized one, is where you can do it right over the skin. It has to be a skin contact. You can't do this through a shirt. So you have to be bare skinned, and you put it about 6 inches away from the skin, and you turn it on typically for about 40 minutes per session, and you run it. Now, it will feel warm, it will feel comfortable, but you won't feel burning. You won't feel like, oh my gosh, I'm so hot, or anything like that. That's what a hyperthermia unit does. A sauna is completely different. A sauna is where you're going in there to sweat. These are the units that we like right here. This is where you have your head out of, or there's the wooden ones that you can get into, and they're the whole body saunas. They're totally different and have a totally different purpose. So let's talk about these. The positives of hyperthermia. Well, the positives are it's deep heat to underlying tissue. It's going to be only deep heat to where you have that unit. It's very good for breast. It's very good for liver, at least the lower lobe of the liver. It can be good for the pancreas. It can be good for skin cancers. So it's going to be deep heat to the tissue that you have that under. The idea, again, is that you're disrupting cancer cells, because cancer cells are not going to be as stable at high temperature. So you're actually causing disruption and more instability of the cancer cells. These units are very helpful with pain and other symptoms as well. Matter of fact, when we used to have people come to the clinic and they did this, that they were in pain, many people, not everybody, but it could help just like take the pain away miraculously, because it does increase circulation to the area. It can heal nerve endings. It can heal other things by that as well. So there's other benefits to the hyperthermia. One of the creators of the hyperthermia, a doctor who's from Japan, who's actually doing work at Johns Hopkins right now. I spoke to her just a few weeks ago, and she said that she's seen the greatest benefit, because she's not a practitioner, but she loves these units. She's one of the developers of these units. She's loaned them out to people with chronic pain. So people with chronic pain syndrome, this has really been helped with. So that can be a positive too. The negatives are the depth is limited. So this isn't going to go 4 inches deep through your rib cage to your lungs. It's not going to go through your ribs to your upper lobes of your liver either. And it's not going to get through, 3 inches of tissue to get to your prostate gland. It's just not going to go that deep. So that is the issue with it. Now, there's medical studies on hyperthermia. I saw a video a few years back of the Cleveland Clinic using hyperthermia to kill breast cancer cells. And that's where it really shines in most use is with breast cancer. They were using hyperthermia to kill breast cancer cells, but they weren't using far infrared, they were using microwave. Now the danger of that is, how do you dose that? Because you turn it up, you have it on too long, you're basically microwaving, you're cooking your flesh. So just like if you could possibly put your hand in the microwave, you would literally cook your hand. So very dangerous, and really is touchy to know how much you are using and the dose that you're using. With the far infrared, this hyperthermia unit, you cannot do harm unless you did it right over your eyes or something like that. So you can't hurt yourself. You can't cook yourself. You can't damage tissue. That's the beauty of this unit. There's no way that you can damage tissue with it. But if the tumor's too deep, it's not going to get there. So it has pros and cons. Plus, you have to understand that there's nothing perfect. So even if I have a very superficial tumor, by doing this doesn't mean that it's going to kill the cancer cells. So, but it's just another tool to consider. And we do have these available on our store for that reason. Now, as opposed to a sauna has totally different purposes. The positives of a sauna is to heat and induce detoxification. So your organs of detoxification are your liver and your kidneys and your colon and your skin. So any way we can take pressure off of our kidneys and our colon and our liver is a good thing. So if we can use our skin to sweat out toxins, that's going to do nothing but help us get better. May it disrupt cancer cells as well by increasing heat? Sure could. It's possible. I'm very big on saunas. The nice thing about these little saunas is now we have this particular model that I think is $1,200. It's just fantastic. It does fold up and can slide underneath your bed, but they're great little units. And personally, I like the ones where your head sticks out. That's just my personal favorite, because otherwise I feel a little claustrophobic. I feel like I can't breathe in a full body sauna after a period of time. I like to be able to breathe, and I don't want to be breathing in my toxins and my sweat either. So I think there's some benefits to having your head out. Now, the negatives are the depth is very limited. Now, there's studies that show that these saunas can actually raise your core temperature. I don't know how much of that is a little bit, hyperbole or not. Yes, it may raise it, several tenths of a point. I don't know that you're really getting up to 101 or anything like that on these saunas, but saunas are so good in so many ways. You just cannot argue the benefits of a sauna. So I'm very big on the saunas. So what's better? Should I use the hyperthermia or should I use the sauna? You can't say that. They're totally different pieces of equipment doing different things. So just because I have a hyperthermia unit does not mean I wouldn't do a sauna, and vice versa. So they're very different pieces of equipment to solve different problems. They can be both beneficial for your health. It's not one or the other. Now, there's cost involved, like the hyperthermia right now is, I don't know, $5,500 or something. The saunas are $1,200. So, boy, if the cost was an issue, I'd get a sauna. So weigh that out. And also depends on your cancer. If I have colon cancer, don't get a hyperthermia, get a sauna. So if I have breast cancer and it's fairly close to the surface, well, then maybe hyperthermia is the way to go. So think about those things. And if you need to talk, contact us. We'll talk you through that and discuss your particular cancer, your particular concern, and help you walk through that decision-making process we're here for you for that reason. So there's no way in anything for us to know this is the right thing for you. Even when we do our testing, we're just praying over it and asking the Holy Spirit to guide us in all things. And that's what you need to do too. You need to be asking the Holy Spirit to guide you in what you should be doing. Maybe you're doing too much and you need to just relax and let God do this, and you need to go live your life. Maybe you do need to add a piece of equipment or something like that too. That is for you to decide, and that has to be done through prayer. We're here to pray with you. Know that, and we're praying for you at all times. Thanks.